Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. It's so good to see you. Yes, I got the camera off again this morning because, once again, I guess my contact lenses here. I don't know why I've set these lenses in the solution all night. But then I put them in again, and boy, they lit my eyes on fire. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I use that all the time, but that's twice this has happened recently. So I don't look all that great this morning. But it is cold. It is cold right here. So I'm going to do audio only this morning. We're going to be taking a look at this. I was playing with this all yesterday, or not all yesterday, but quite a bit yesterday afternoon, because I finally got on the right thing. If you just look up index card RPG virtual tabletop, there's apparently something set up in Foundry. I'll show you. So I was confused for a bit. If you just say index card RPG VTT or whatever. So there is something for Foundry, and we've tried out Foundry before, but I was like, okay, what's going on here? Because Foundry wasn't integrating well with the coffee shop, but I knew there was something else. But so where we are, what I was looking for is at ICVTT.net. So if you go to ICVTT.net, that's where you find this. And this is what we're going to be looking at. So this is specifically what we're going to be looking at. All right, let's see who is all here. Zero the Blade, good morning, Zero the Blade. And BGD, good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Jason, good morning. James. Yep, BGD is here. I figured he would be here. I'm connected to that server, but I wasn't sure. I might not have all the channels. And I wasn't sure of the best place to post it, if there was one, where this kind of thing is allowed. Hey, PH, good morning. And Hardly Paranormal, good morning. Good morning. Let's see. All right, so that's our main topic for today. Because I wanted to know if my plan was to build out 2 different RPGs for the virtual tabletop, virtual coffee shop. I was going to have 8 different games to start off with, and we can add to them later. If this goes well, then we can add to them later. But I was thinking that we should do 2 different RPGs. But really, the build out of Shadow Dark took me more time than I was expecting, or actually the amount of time I was expecting to do 2 different RPGs. I know that the index card RPG is popular around here, and so I thought that would be a natural one to build out. But the Shadow Dark one took a while, so here I am. I spent about as much time on that as I was planning on spending on both. But I did know that the index card RPG had its own virtual tabletop, which, by the way, can be used for more things than just the index card RPG. You don't have to just play the index card RPG in it. But I found it. And so I wanted to know, I said it would be great if this would integrate directly into the coffee shop, and that would give us a second different kind of play environment. And I'm not exactly sure. I've got it set up for an experiment. It may not quite work, but we're going to take a look at the software itself and then take a look at its integration here. Yes, please do hit the like button. It does. PH says, a VTT for ICRPG should use a banana icon for measurement. And I have seen the banana icon on the VTT board. Good morning, John. All right, let's, that's what we're going to be looking at and experimenting with this morning. But let me go over here and let me pull up our Turning Pro book. By the way, Brianna started reading Faraway Bird. That's Doug's book yesterday. She's really enjoying it. She and I was in a group chat. She was posting back and forth with Doug. So I'm going to get on that too. So if you want to be in on the discussion for Faraway Bird, we'll do that on Table Talk reasonably soon. Books are being read. So if you want to read that one before we do the story, that's the one about the Byzantine Empire, the Empress Theodora, that inspired Doug to go and read The Heroine's Labyrinth. Or, excuse me, not read. To go and write The Heroine's Labyrinth, because he used that for the story structure for the book. BGD says, the wonderful thing about ICVTT being a grassroots community project made by fans of Runehammer games with the approval and support of the publisher is it's completely system agnostic. All right. So let's do our breathe and sip and then do our inspirational reading this morning. I've got some Diet Coke this morning. I didn't get to make coffee. I'm going to have to make coffee after the morning grind here. I need it to warm up. All right, 2 deep breaths, complete inhales, complete exhales. Inhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then we'll take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So take just a moment to clear your mind and focus this morning before we get started. Here we go. And sip. So, Stephen Pressfield says, the professional does not wait for inspiration. We are all nothing without the muse, but the pro has learned that the goddess prizes labor and dedication above any theatrical seeking of her favors. The professional does not wait for inspiration. He acts in anticipation of it. He knows that when the muse sees his butt in the chair, she will deliver. The professional does not give away his power to others. The dictionary defines icon as an article, a relic, say, that once belonged to a saint or a holy man that serves as an object of worship. A person can be an icon. When we make someone into an icon, we give away our power. We say to ourselves unconsciously, this person possesses qualities that I wish to possess. I wish I possessed. Therefore, I will worship this person in the hope that that quality will wear off on me, or I will acquire that quality by virtue of my proximity to this mentor, sensei, lover, teacher, or hero. In my experience, when we project a quality or virtue onto another human being, we ourselves almost always already possess that quality, but we're afraid to embrace and to live that truth. The amateur is an acolyte, a groupie. The professional may seek instruction or wisdom from one who is further along in mastery than he is, but he does so without surrendering his self-sovereignty. All right, let's pull back up our thing here. So our window here, I am going to, let me get it. There we go. Take a look at this in isolation. Then we'll look at it in the coffee shop. So I was going to say, and I think I got diverted on this point, that so I've got 7 games that are basically all ready in their version 1, ready for playing. So actually, I think that's enough to get started with. So we will see how well this works. We might also do like a community vote or something about what different games could go into the coffee shop, maybe adding them one by one over the course of weeks and months, because I want to get this started. And I also want to, I've got other projects I want to get onto as well. But let me see. But we're just about ready for testing. But I'm thinking that I am going to go over to Georgia this weekend to go over for the fan weekend at Neutral Zone Studios. So I was about 60 or 70% on that last night. Maybe I'm about 75% on it right now. I'm going to try to plan my weekend. So obviously a great test weekend then would be this weekend. What I would do is say, all right, we should do a test weekend of the coffee shop this weekend. But this is the fan weekend, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go ahead and go. So I'm not sure when the test is going to be then. It might have to be the weekend after that, and then hopefully after that we can really get rocking and rolling. But I put the link here if you are interested in playing games in the chat. And so if you're interested, sign up right here. This is the interest sign up. I just put the link in there. So it's about time to get some people who are interested. I sent out an email to everybody who had already signed up last night, telling everybody what the status was. So I'll let you know when the test is coming. So it's soon. I think we're basically ready. I think we're basically ready to play. I mean, we could jump in right now. I just need a... we'll take a look at how the index card VTT works, and then we will do our test, and then we'll hold our first big event after that if the test goes well. I'm sure there'll be some things we need to change up after a test. We'll do a test of about 10 people, and then we can have more people in there as well. So in addition, continuing BGD's comment about being system agnostic, BGD says ICVTT is 100% free to use as a GM or a player for any game system you want to use. So we're going to try to throw some of the icons and tokens that I built for other games into it and see how that works. Good morning, Retro. Good morning. This is a great place to be while having coffee this morning. I am doing audio only because I burned my eyes with the contact cleaner again this morning. So I don't look like anything needs to be on camera at the moment. Okay, so here is the ICVTT.net. And this is not the Foundry one. You need to go to ICVTT.net because the other one comes up. The Foundry version, I guess, comes up when you just Google IC or index card VTT. So let's go to the index card virtual tabletop. Let's click log in. And now you do have to log in. The playingcards.io, you don't have to have a login. But let's see if I can just continue with my Discord credentials here. Oh, hang on. I do like that about playing cards, that you don't have to have a login. I'm in a different browser here. And of course, my password fails. All right, hang on. See, different points of failure. See, you know, that when I'm talking about different systems integration and things here, that's an issue. That's why I'm always going for simplicity, because I'm having to integrate different systems. So you got to be able to log in. All right, so here I am logged in. But you can use Google or email. Yeah, I didn't create another one. I thought that I thought my Discord login would be easy. BGD says only the GMs need to log in to make the VTT setups. Players only need to click the play link. So here I am. So enter game name. Morning Grind. Oh, now it's also does not allow me if I try to hit Morning Grind. That seems like a good game name. Well, Well, I thought, okay, so then I clicked the square space. Okay, Morning Grind. I thought it was going to yell at me for having a space, but it doesn't yell at me for having a space. Okay, no special character. So yeah, you can't have a space in the name of your game. So Morning Grind. Click to add a background or start without. Okay, then I got to enter a game master name. All right, so Heath. And now here I am in the virtual tabletop. So I was trying to, this is not one of, this is not, because it's system agnostic, it doesn't have a whole lot of the back end of things programmed into it to make, a particular game function, because it's not for any particular game. So in that case, it's very much like the playingcards.io, which I really like, because I think that helps speed up your creation, because there's the more you have, there's the more expectation of what you're going to do. It's like if you can do all of the dynamic lighting and all of that. And we talked about how getting virtual games set up, some game masters were saying that was taking longer, like especially during the pandemic when a lot of people went to online games, their prep time was taking longer than their physical game time. We don't want that. We want this to still be easy to get right into. So we got dice rollers over here. I do like the integrated dice roller. So, a line of dice down is very similar to what we did with what I did with playingcards.io. But I do like that it throws out the number and also gives you the name of the player who rolled it. So if we need to roll, a couple of D20s for advantage or whatever, it gives it to you. Oh, there's not a percentile die sitting over here. So I guess you'd have to go 38. Or if you read that 83, but I think if you click twice, I guess you read it backwards. So it'd be like 84 that time. BGD says, so the dice are on your left. The dice tray hidden is on your upper right. Right, yes. So there is a dice tray over here I was noticing. Whoop. So if you slide that out, if I'm rolling this D4, it'll throw the D4 over there in the dice tray. I'm not sure. When do the dice go away in the dice tray? I see that they're automatically vanishing over here on the sides. You can drag and drop a background image to begin building your VTT setup for an adventure. Right. The double click on the D10 for a D100 roll. Oh, okay. 71. Okay, double click that. So that does directly give you a D100. Oh, see, BGD knows everything about this. So they stay over in the dice tray for about a minute because they look like they're vanishing faster over here than they are on the left than they are on the right. So dice tray, that's nice too. So we don't have a dice tray over there on playingcards.io. That's the binary one. And when you roll the max, you get lightning, which is also a nice feature. So I'm the game master of this game. So you pull down here, and this is where you set up your scenes. All the dice in the tray can be dragged out of the set and set on the tabletop for longer reference. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So let's try that. So if I need to reference this 3, I can drag it out. Oh, well, that's cool. So in essence, the rolled dice become movable tokens. Well, that is neat. So this is what we were talking about yesterday. This token actually becomes then adjustable, that you can put these numbers on tokens. So if you're trying to track hit points or something, then you can track, it's a token of an orc, I guess. Now, I didn't actually figure out, I guess BGD is going to have to help us there, because I didn't figure out exactly how to apply a token to an orc. A counter to an orc. But with these counters, we can zoom in, we can zoom in, we can zoom out. And actually the zooming in and zooming out of the tokens is really nice when you've got like an isometric background. It makes that really easy to just show positioning of people. We can flip it around, we can duplicate it, clone token, lock or unlock, drag to rotate. So we can rotate our token here. That's moved to the top. So we do have layers. One of the issues with playingcards.io is that there are no layers. Everything is sitting on as far as layers on your tabletop go, everything is sitting on the exact same layer, and whatever you touch last is on top. But you do have layer functionality in here, and then you can also type in a label. BGD says the dice are also useful for timers. If you click one on the tabletop, you can increment it with a plus or a minus. Okay, that's exactly what we were just looking at. All you need when you want to add an orc to the scene is drag and drop the token onto the screen. Right, but then I couldn't give it a number. Let's see if we can do that. Well, I might have just figured out accidentally how to do it. Let me go over to my storage files for, let's say, Shadow Dark. So let's say I want to use some of that information from Shadow Dark. And I got tokens over here, the Shadow Dark tokens that we like. Now, some of these are generic and they can get used for other things too. But let's say, okay, here we go. Here's our 5 arrow token. I just drug it right over. I just drug it right over from my file management system over on my computer, and then put it right over here and it just drug it and set it right on the tabletop. Every asset that you add to the VTT gets collected in an asset browser you can access by clicking the downward double chevron. Great. So that's this up here. And we're going to take a look at that in just 1 second. So this helps us organize our scenes and stuff, which is nice, which is also something we can change out the backgrounds in playingcards.io, but we can't pre-store them. We can pre-store them right here. Now, one thing that this is missing that I really like is the hand. The playingcards.io has a hand for each player, and I do like having a hand for each player. That's it seems like there's different kinds of styles of games that I play. Being able to hand out cards, especially cards, I guess that's why playingcards.io works so well for the kinds of things I was looking for. But also tokens, being able to drag those down into your hand so that each player has a place to store their specific stuff is a really nice feature. This one doesn't have that. So the players don't have like they don't have a hand. They don't have a place to put their stuff. This is just for the common elements of the game board. If you click the icon to get to its controls, click on the AA control to access the text label of the token. If you put in a numeral, the plus and minus function changes to the value. I was wondering about that because when I clicked over here, I saw number 4, and I was like, oh, I wonder if you add the numeral sign, then that might give you the functionality. Let's see. So I'm going to come over here this time. Let's put something else in. Let's put in a monster token. Let's put in our goblin token. Now we've got a goblin there. So now if I just put 4 in there, then yes, I do automatically. I wonder how I resize the number. That's the die over there has a number sign on it. Oh, okay. So I put the number sign, and that's what moved it up to white in the middle. Okay. I thought it had to do with the number sign. So if I just put the text size is fixed. Okay. But if you precede it with a number sign, you get the white there in the middle. If you don't, then you get text down there at the bottom. So if I was going to put this over here, here's the bandit token. I'm going to drop bandit over here. And bandit. So there, that's what it looks like if it was just the text. If I put number, then it's white. So that is nice. So if you're trying to track hit points, or if you're just trying to number different bandits, there you go. That does make that very useful for tracking all kinds of time. There's a lot of things in a game. I think that's great functionality because there's a lot of things in a game that you just want to are trying to track numbers by that. Can you do a text label and a number tag that will increment and decrement? I was wondering that too. So can we also add a number to this bandit? Bandit 5. No, bandit. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Yes. Look at that. Look at that. So if we want it to be bandit 5, or we want it to be a bandit and that's his hit points or whatever, look, you can do both. Are you watching that? You can do both. Yeah, okay, so I did scale up the bandit, but the text size remained the same. Jack says, have you explored the draw your own index card function yet? Not yet. I did yesterday, but I haven't done it here yet. BGD says the rotating arrow control handles the rotation of the token to make the goblin die by tipping it over on its side. So if this goblin's dead, we can, there you go, goblin dead. Can we flip tokens? I don't actually see a place to flip over a token, to have a front and a back. Let's see, but we do need a background. Let's see. Oh, let's see if we can bring in one of my dungeon pizza boards. How about Into the Purple Woods? See, so if I can just drag that, let's see if I can just drag that. Okay, so now I got the index. Now I got my zones over here. BGD says the magnifying glass can be dragged to scale the tokens. The mirror control flips horizontally. Yeah, I saw a horizontal flip. I didn't see front and back flip. So you can flip horizontally, yes. So in this, if we're trying to track our arrows, this is also really easy because now we would just need the main arrow token. Like if you want to be able to track arrows, we can put an arrow token on there. So you'd need like an area of the board for a particular player. If you were trying to track your arrows over here. And then we could say number 20. Instead of having to hold on to a whole bunch of different arrow tokens. Now I've got an arrow token with a 20 on it, which that's really nice. So that's a stack of 20 arrow tokens. BGD says you can open the menu bar at the top and then start a new scene or clone this one. The first token you drop on the new scene will be the background image. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So let's say we're setting up a new scene over here. Let's see. Drag an image as a background or click to skip. So I think that is an easier way to go with the background. So let's take a look at how about Cobblestone 2? So, all right. So now that's already set now as the background, and that's much easier scaled. So that is the easier way to do that. So now we've got the cobblestone background. And I was noticing when I double click, it gives you like the radar. So if you're trying to drag somebody, get somebody's attention. All right, now we're all going over here, and every player can assign a different color down here. Or there's some way to change up your color. But like I'm red down here, that's what's telling me. So by clicking, I get some type of notification over there. BGD says experienced of the users of the VCC create some really nice custom setups of background images that have holdout areas for player reference material and individual character stats. Yes. So I think that's what I would do too. Is it looks like then by using the background, coming up with what the background is. I mean, kind of like I've got, basically holdout areas like you're talking about on the board, on the playing cards that tracks people's hit points and that tracks hit points and AC and things like that. Publicly, we can add other things that the player might be holding. So having a space on the board for a player is probably a good idea. Okay, BGD says, you're red because you logged in with that color as the GM. Additional users can pick the color they want with an RBG color picker as they enter their screen names. Hey, good morning, George. Good morning. So now I'm in this scene. So I got a different scene over here. So now you can skip back and forth to pre-set up scenes. So if I know this is going to be, this is going to have some, let's see, where's PC tokens? Well, maybe I know monster tokens as well. Like maybe, oh, this is where the skeletons are going to be. So I can drop some skeletons on here. So you can pre-set up battles, and that is nice. So I know that zombies are going to be waiting over here. And I don't know where my treasure chest is. Seems like a treasure chest should be in here. Oh, chest token right here. So there we go. So now scale them down. So that is an advantage that I really like as well. So as the game master, you can pre-set up a bunch of scenes and then skip back and forth to where you are in the story. I think that's easy. I don't want it to be, like I said, too sophisticated because then there's greater expectation that you're going to be doing so much more with the setup. But if you know you got like several different maps that you want to go to, or like with these different dungeon pizza kinds of things, I've got different environments. So it's nice to be able to switch back and forth between environments really on the fly. It'd be nice if I do this again, we can see that probably the background will stay much more consistent if I bring them in the correct way. What's one that we haven't seen yet? How about this one right here? How about Dungeon 2? There we go. Cobblestone floor, Dungeon 2 floor. That works. BGD says, yes, you can set up each scene or encounter area on a different screen. You can select and copy tokens from one scene and paste them onto the next one. Getting a basic encounter set up with the ICVTT only takes a few minutes. You can do some surprisingly sophisticated setups with custom designed PNG assets and little experience. So there's also, like, I'm not sure how you would hold a character sheet. Now, see, that's one of the things that I was liking about the playingcards.io setup is that I just lay the character sheets out so that when people log in, they just take their character sheet and then they pick a character sheet and then put it in their hand. I don't think we're going to be able to do that here. So we would have to distribute character sheets by some other method. And I do like it that on the game console, you can reference a character sheet. Let's see. So you have to use another method for that. So yes, all right, let's look down. So what other things do we have over here? So this is create new scene right here. This is create scene. This right here is preview a webcam. I was also seeing some pretty sophisticated things that people were doing. Being that you can bring on a webcam. So that's my all the wires over there on the side of my desk. So, but that's the auxiliary camera right there. So we can bring in, it might even be, or I can take a snapshot of a webcam, because some people had physical tokens, like a physical setup over on the side, setup with physical terrain that they were actually moving miniatures around, and they were able to bring that in by the snapshot of the camera. BGD says, you may recall the space adventure we played during your first experience. Yes, I absolutely remember playing ICRPG with me. They were only holdout matte images to provide depth and hide space for assets. Yes. So let's see. Let's generate. Of course, you don't have to just be looking straight down. And I want to do this with the playingcards.io as well. Let's say I need a dramatic concept art of a dramatic wizard's tower landscape, because I actually do really like playing that way. I'm just going to roll up something in Midjourney. The lower left is the pencil icon for the token maker, which lets you create virtual index cards and custom stylized tokens on the fly. We're going to look at that next. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so but what else is up here? We got webcam connection, screen sharing connection. So people were also using that, I was noticing, in a rather sophisticated way. So you could, even if you were trying to do fog of war or something, you could live stream or stream your Photoshop from another window that allows you to like erase fog of war over an image. This is the assets browser. So this tells me all of the assets. This is the morning grind. So I've got all of the assets here in this particular game, but I did notice that there was ICVTT assets as well. So there's a bunch of things that are built in here backgrounds. Those are our dice tokens right there. That one might be for our scene timer, I think. So actually, or not scene timer, but our target numbers. So now that I know how to do this, we can make this like scene target 12. In ICRPG, you have like a target number for a particular scene. And so you put that up there. So on this particular scene, that tells you what the difficulty of the scene is. So you're not really doing like individual armor classes or individual how difficult is it to jump over this pit, or how difficult is it to do X or Y for individual items in the scene. You're using a set target number for any time they're trying to do something in the scene. So it's good to put that out on the tabletop on the scene. Yeah, Sable was in that too. That was the same scenario where I played the space otter that shot out the window of the bridge to escape. The Scarlet Blade. So, yep, that was that one. Proscenium-style cinematic landscapes work great for backdrops in the ICVTT as an alternative to top-down maps because the scale tokens on the fly creates forced perspective. Yes, let's show that off. So let me see what I got over here in Midjourney. Well, this works. Well, this works well enough, I guess. I should tell it no people. Because I did like playing that way. No people, human. I'll roll it up again. Let's see. But down here, okay, so down here is the creator for your index cards or tokens. So I can draw on here. Now, okay, I got the thin line again. I really want the thicker lines. Sometimes I draw and I have a really thin line. Sometimes I draw and I have a thicker line. But if I come over here, okay, there's an index card where I can draw something on. And this is nice. Let me see, because like this is one of the things that we are missing from playingcards.io. We want to be able to throw out things like fate assets, or aspects rather. Like if there's some kind of aspect or something that's changing, we want to be able to throw that out on the scene. Hey, good morning, Lynn and Michael Connor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But okay, I can say add to scene, and now that card drops on the table. We can scale it up, we can scale it down, and so I could put a card in here. On fire is my classic go-to. Okay, so now we've got a situation where we're on fire. BGD says, I can choose between transparent index card frame or token and in a Sharpie circle with a color you can pick. Right, yes, all right, let's demonstrate that as well. So that, to begin with, I got this really thin marker. I'm not sure why the marker is thin. But if I say add that to scene, it may be difficult to see because it's so dark. But I did add another scribble to the scene. But here is a token right here. So if I need a token, I can drop on a token. So there now, and then I guess I could add orc in here. Orc 5. I really like being able to adjust the the numbers. Mark 6. Oh, this might work. So let's see if I'm over here and we want to play in like an isometric perspective. I like this, and I want to be able to add this kind of thing to the playing card. I mean, you can, because you can just change up what background. So some of the things in the playing cards.io I want to do are like this. So if I drag this image right over here, let's see if I can drag it in from this window. Looks like it's processing. Oh, I may have done it twice. Oh, I did. Let's trash that one. So there we go. So now I've got this wizard's tower here. BGD says the index cards on the fly will allow you to replicate streamlined, zone-based, nodal style of play. ICRPG is famous for quickly and easily with essentially VTT prep. And I want to experiment with that too. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. But yeah, so here we've got this wizard's tower right here. And it's easier than you would think to play a game like this with your characters. So let's say there's, well, here's our Bard token. Oh, that one's not the final token. So here's our Bard token. And if I want him down here, I can just zoom him in. So, all right, he's standing down here. And then, well, maybe this isn't a great example because there's not a whole lot to stand on back here. But, okay, then I can say that's okay, there's some other fighter that is sitting over here. Building up a library of assets will be nice to be able to use across a variety of different games. But yeah, this guy can walk up the stairs and look like he's walking upstairs to nowhere right there. And she can walk back down or standing over there. You can still completely use tokens on isometric things like this. Or just have the background like they were doing with Alchemy for a more cinematic kind of gaming style. So anyway, so we're saying BGD was saying that the ICRPG is famous for quickly and easily setting up with essentially zero VTT prep, but the VTT system is still sophisticated enough to allow for some very elegant visual techniques with custom assets prepped and set up ahead of time. Some of the most famous ICRPG adventures available from Runehammer and the community are run on the VTT essentially as side scrollers in a manner similar to video games of the same type. Oh, interesting. I was thinking about a Vexanadu game last night. I was like, how would you get Vexanadu into a tabletop game? I had some ideas, but I was thinking specifically about, yes, that's a side scroller platformer. What are the essential elements and what are incidental elements? And so I was actually thinking about just that kind of thing last night. So if I wanted to do zones, which I am a fan of zones for combat, let's see. So this right here, I still have done this with a larger marker, I believe, but I could draw some type of zone on here, and it would. You could probably also mark, but I want to be able to do this in playing cards as well, to be able to say, yeah, whatever. This is some room of the dungeon. Oh, I'm on a fresh page. Oh. So that put that in as the background. Hang on. Let's not do that. Because we want to be able to do things with as little prep as possible. So I'll tell you what, I'll throw a die. Oh, it made the die the background. BGD says you could totally replicate Vaxanadu as a side-scrolling ICRPG adventure. Start a new scene and then click to get a black background. Or click to skip. Okay, so that now I got a blank background. Okay, so that's what I wanted. Okay, so now if I throw in different cards, so if you're trying to build out something fast, I guess I could have pressed duplicate too. But okay, so we got like a dungeon setup going in here. So if I need like a door token. Where's my Hero Quest door tokens? Well, I'm not sure. But I could drop in a token over here and have a door. So then this could be right over here. All right, here's one particular room. This is the altar room. So let's actually make that one larger. So this could be one square, the altar room. Some kind of passage 1. Make them different sizes and kind of start to show what the shape of this thing is that you're in. Let's clone this. And then we're going back here into this will be the priest chamber. Maybe this is actually up here. Was this called the narthex? And then this is, so ICRPG kind of plays this way. Fate plays this way, because then we can just start throwing on tiles, right? We can start throwing on our, let's see if I can copy some from over here. So here are our heroes. Oh, wait, I know. So over here, where is our assets? Right here. So the assets for this game right here. So we need her. We need him. We need a treasure chest. That guy kind of looks like an evil priest. And then some skeletons. And the heroes are going to be entering the narthex. See, this is kind of the kind of thing that I would do if I were actually at a gaming table. Like, we've all played like this before. Because then, like, for instance, you can move from one zone into another. You can attack what's in your zone with melee weapons. You can get to someplace else with one move. Like, I can move from the narthex to the altar room. Or if I've got a ranged weapon, I can shoot into the altar room from the narthex. Or maybe up here to the priest chamber as well, depending on what the door situation is. And then to entice the heroes, we got this back here. So that communicates a lot of information to you, I think. You can add text labels to the, okay, right, yes. So got text labels, and you can draw on them as well. I wanted a thicker line. I thought once I got a thicker line. I'm not sure, though. Maybe I was just imagining that. Sable says, huh, I just had the idea of scanning pages out of Vermis and coming up with an adventure line you could put through this VTT. That would be creepy. I can drag images onto the virtual index card. So let's see if I got this virtual index card here. Let me go back to my assets folder. I really don't have rooms. Well, okay, wait a minute. What if I put this cavern? Oh, that did not work. I can download, discard. Well, actually, let me just drop a blank one. So if I want a picture of a cavern, okay, so there's my, I guess, well, I don't know if I really need the index card for that. Can I group those things together? I can scale them together, though. Narthex always sounded like a great name for a monster. A narthex and a gazebo. BGD says Shadow Dark style dungeon crawls can be constructed effortlessly on the fly in VTT, ICVTT, although I'd probably start running them using the ICRPG rules. Because we're always thinking about what's the most we can do with the least. What's the least that we've got to do in order to have the maximum amount of fun? And I love the philosophy of this VTT. I mean, I also do love what playingcards.io can do because it can really, I think, really move you into something fast too, move you into a game fast. But I also love the philosophy of the index card RPG in general, and the philosophy of this VTT. BGD says you can also download a blank index card image from the VTT as a PNG and then combine with your art assets in an image editor. That would be easier. So I can just download a blank. Yeah, please allow downloads. So I can get a blank card. I mean, it's pretty basic to make that, but you get its cool outline here. And I do have a blank card here, and then I can use Illustrator or whatever to make up a deck of cards. Does this? I bet it doesn't understand decks. I do like that the playingcards.io understands what a deck is. You're kind of you're organizing on your own file system. So this was screen sharing, cycling through scenes, assets browser. Is there something else that we missed? Is there anything that we missed here? There's die over here. We'll have to look later. I'll look at some more sophisticated setups where we're keeping track of people's hit points and things like that on the side. So I should be able. So we could make up some pretty fun looking tokens. I bet they're like shields for your armor class and like a crossed sword for your attack power or something, or a drop of blood for your hit points. It was AC and hit points. So you could definitely come with that. Can I put some kind of label? Can I label things? Like if I wanted to say, put a label up there, I guess I would have to put, I guess you could make a space with an index card. So like this is, this would become Heath, priest, level 1. And then if I had an icon for armor class and hit points, then I could put them up there, and then I could track them that way. PH says, I really love ICRPG, but I can't suspend my disbelief in games that your character changes depending on the items she carries. The same technique works with any of the Sharpie token backgrounds and any color you want to assign to it. It's easy to make custom tokens in the ICRPG style. And yes, you could totally create status tokens for the PCs. Each asset clicked has a different... you could totally create status tokens for the PCs. Each asset clicked by a different user takes on the color assigned to that user. Ah. So the reason that my writing here is in red is because I'm red. So, okay, so if somebody else created an index card and wrote it and they were green, it would be green. That is also very convenient. That ties all the colors together. I was trying to do that in a manual way over on the playingcards.io game. Okay, that's so this is, I mean, I like its philosophy. I like this philosophy better than trying to do all of the sophisticated stuff that some of the ones that we did saw, some of the VTTs that we looked at, we saw some that anyway, I don't know what how that sentence was supposed to be going. But anyway, I like this philosophy better than trying to hard code a bunch of stuff in, because even though that's nice, it makes it very inflexible and you got a million things you got to look at. And I just want the table experience, which is what this and playing cards provides. Manipulate stuff. You do all the tracking yourself, and that makes it flexible. We can play a bunch of different types of games, and we can play a bunch of and get set up and get going really easily without having to go also learn how to use the VTT in some major way. That, click over here and then click on this and then click this down in order to increment your dex bonus when using this skill or something. So a GM sets a dice token on the tabletop. Player 1 can click on it to change its color to their own. So they can even change the dice color. Okay, so now the question is, can we get this working inside the coffee shop? BGD says, basically, there's always a way forward in the ICVTT, and that way it embodies the ethos of ICRPG perfectly. Okay, let's see if we can get this working in the coffee shop. I was playing this with this the other day. So let's see what happens. I'm going to share the coffee shop with you. And once again, I should probably point out that if you want to be able to come in and play and you haven't signed up, that's the link to show the interest to sign up to play games in the coffee shop. I just put it in the comments again. All right, let me share screen. All right, and here I am. So what I did was I created a test table. B23 is just a test table down here in the gaming room. This is in the basement to connect to the ICVTT. So we've got this set up. They're all white boxes. You see white boxes all over the place. And white boxes are set up to connect you to the playingcards.io. So when you go to a space with a white box and you hit X, then you connect to virtualplayingcards.io, and then you enter your room code right there, and that takes you to the room. So all of them are white boxes, except for I've got an experimental table set up over here to take you to ICRPG. So when I step over here and then I hit X, now I can join. Okay, now but here's the issue that I was having. I'm going to need a couple of other people to experiment with this with me. Because unlike the small things here, it's the small things. Unlike playing cards. So here I've got join as a game master. Click to log in. So my options here are to click to log in, and you did have to have a login to be the game master to be able to set up everything. Okay, but that's fine. So that's an additional hurdle, but it's not like anything major. But on this page right here, you are only supposed to log in as the game master, and it says, "Are you a player? Ask your game master for the game link," which means that unfortunately, I can't just give you a home page like I can on playingcards.io. It sure would be nice if this screen said, click to log in, or are you a player? Enter your link here below, and then it immediately takes you to that room. It would just need to be a redirect. But you see, I'm not sure about the problem that or how much that's really going to be an issue. I've got this button up here that will allow me to change things, but I'm not sure if other people see this or if I just see this because I'm the owner, because I can say, I don't want to say set this to a particular game. Because different tables can go to different games. They're going to need them to be able to go to different games. But if I click up there and I hit enter, as long as everybody sees that, then it should be okay. The game master could distribute that code, which is the URL, and then it will take them to here. Okay, so here, this time I'm blue. So I'm going to be a new player right now. Let's make it green so it's very obvious. Okay, so now I'm green here, and now I am Gavin. And I'm going to say join. So now this takes me to that VTT. So that part works. The weird part is I got to make sure that that everybody can sit down at a different table. So we need the game master has, and when you, I need one link that allows everybody to go to a table. If you can change up what link you're going to, players can, and not just like administrators of the room, that will still work. So now, okay, I'm Gavin over here. So if I click that, what if I wanted to change this? It highlights in green now. Hey, oh, and one problem. Oh, no, okay, that works. So I was able to click that. I want to drop my own index card. See, that's the kind of thing I was afraid of. Okay, is it going to allow pop-ups and things like that? Because I want to change up that. So it does let me do this. And it lets me add and decorate. Oh, now when I changed it changed it to, when I altered it, it changed it green. If I roll a die, oh, look, so it's going to change and tell me what different colored die they are. So who rolled the die? So it's a common dice tray. This is pretty cool. If I roll a die over here on the other window, oh, no, I don't see that I rolled in the other window. But if I pull it out, then I do. So that was a red die roll, and it's 7. It's not allowing the label pop up, but it is allowing the manipulation. Maybe the players won't need a whole bunch of manipulation like that. They might need to be able to write down. It's so close. It's so close. And it would be nice to be able to have both of them. But you would need to be able to establish a different game URL for each separate game you want to host. Right. But here's my issue. When I'm setting up an event here, I don't want to have to change all of my tables because I don't want to have to change the URL for all of my tables every time I want a new event. As long as you go to any of these white tables, you hit X, it takes you to playingcards.io, and then you drop in your room code right there, and it takes your individual room code and it takes you to your room. Your game master has that. But from the administration of the table, I just know that this right here, that any place that's white connects you to playingcards.io. So the game master then gives you your specific code. If I've got like 10 games of ICRPG going, I want to also be able to have them walk up, go, this is an ICRPG table, and then enter the code and go directly there. I don't want to have to pre-set up the room codes for everybody at a particular table. I want you to be able to sit down at any index card RPG table and then be able to enter your code and go right into the game. That makes sense? BGD says, on the plus side, ICVTT lets you export complete VTT setups as save files. So save files might be the key to integrating RPGs into your coffee shop. Each table links a GM to a clean setup, and then each session's GM launches the game and sends out the game link to all his players. Well, right, that is what I would do, because I've got basically the same kind of save files for the playingcards.io. So you set up a particular game, especially if you're going to do one that's like an adventure that several people may want to run through. You do all of the prep in advance, set up the save file, and then distribute those to the game masters. The game masters will have to have a save file distributed to them regardless. So that is nice as well. You can export your game. It's like playingcards.io in that your room endures for 30 days and then it can be deleted. But you can export a copy of your room, so if you need to rebuild it later, then you can. So yes, all of the game masters will have save files to load, and they will have their room code. But then as long as you've got your room code, I want you to be able to sit down at any table with a red box and get to the ICRPG. Each table links to a game to a clean setup, and then each GM session launches the game and then sends out the game. Right, I just said that should allow you to have multiple GMs running multiple sessions for multiple games. Right, yes, it would. My issue is, what link does the red box need to take you to? Because if you're a player and you sit down and it links to the ICVTT, you come right here, and there's no place for you to enter your game link. See my problem? So if I sit down and we're all sitting here, the game master can say, click here to log in. But then all of the players on the playing cards, there's that bar right there at the end, at the bottom, that entry field that says enter your code right here. The game master tells you the code and you enter it. Here, my question is this is this right here something that everybody can access, or is it something that only I can access because I'm an administrator? Because the administrator, if the administrator has to hard code each individual box to a game room, that's going to take a lot of time. I'm probably not explaining my problem very articulately. And also, just looking at the software, you might not understand what the problem is, because you're like, you've got this field up here, but I want every red box to go to I want every red box to go to a place where you can play index card RPG or any game using the ICVTT. So ideally, I want that link to go to ICVTT. And then if you're sitting right here, then you need to be able to get to your game. That's the only potential obstacle that I'm seeing. BGD says that's because the game link is supposed to be the portal landing page to the game session, not the main VTT login page, which is only for GMs. So that's the problem that I'm having. Right? That's the problem that I'm having. That's the on playingcards.io. I can go over here. See, everybody uses the same landing page on playingcards.io. I go over here, I hit X, enter room code. And that's because playingcards.io doesn't have a distinction between players and game masters. It's just a room code and everybody can do everything. So everybody gets the room code. The game master says, hey, the room code is 4974B, puts it in the chat, whatever, and then everybody goes. So that's why I can set up 40 tables with playingcards.io. And I know that every time anybody goes to them, they sit down and they can immediately enter a room code and get there. I don't want to have to hard code I don't want to have to hard code games using the ICVTT. Players are only meant to access game-specific pages. It sure would be nice. It sure would be nice that if it said, are you a player? Ask your GM for the game link and enter it here. Because, yes, you could go direct. I understand you can go direct. But it would also be nice if there were a way to go to a room from this homepage. Well, all right. I really like this setup. So I'm adding it. I've added this in here as an experimental table because I think it does a lot of things that a lot of people are going to like. Now, that adds, talking about adding complexity, that's a different kind of system to learn. That's why a lot of them are built out in playing cards. But I think this provides functionality that a lot of people will want to have. And so I'm adding it in here. Table B23 is going to remain an experimental table that can access the index card RPG. And if we need to move other tables to the index card or the index card virtual tabletop, like I said, it doesn't have to just be index card RPG, but just use that particular tabletop. I'm going to add this in here as an experimental build. I've wondered about building out some of the index card RPG in playing cards, but I really want this to work as well. That would be freaking fantastic. I just want to be sure that technically it does it. It just happens to be kind of a miracle that playing cards worked perfectly. So, and it does so much stuff. This one does so much stuff as well, and it's slightly different stuff. Like decks of cards, it doesn't appear to handle as well. So, but something like, so for board games, it seems like playing cards is much better. But I would still love to be able to integrate both so that game masters have an option of what type of system they want to run. Because some groups may, like one style, other groups may like another style, and that's completely up to you. So hopefully we can get it to work. Well, I was articulating the problem. I probably didn't articulate the problem very well. People are probably confused as to what the issue is. The issue is that it may not be able to. It needs more testing, because if I go here, so my problem is here I am at ICVTT.net. How do I get to a room from this screen? And it appears that I might not be able to. Hang on, wait a minute. There might be a way I can test this. Hang on. Let me maybe I can bring in another character here. Hang on. Let's see. I need a way to test. Because I need to solve this problem. I'm trying to log in on incognito mode. I'm trying to get in with another character in like an incognito mode. Let's see. Let's see. I might be able to do it. Let's see. At least run this test. Oh, just let me in. Other Heath. Oh, it's trying to give me a tutorial about how to use this thing. I know how to. So that's okay. Yeah, I know. We're one step closer. We are one step closer. I'm trying to I'm going to run this test. It's trying to give me a tutorial. Enter the office. Okay, all right, here I am. All right, so what I'm going to do, so on the screen that you guys can see, let's see what happens. So we got Heath and other Heath. So Heath is down here running a game. And now in this other window, other Heath is going to head down to the basement, to the test room. Okay, so now I shouldn't have, other Heath shouldn't have any type of special privileges, like admin privileges or anything like that. Oh, and now you should hear echo because I'm talking to myself. Let me mute. Okay, so I muted one microphone here. Okay, so both of these are players, but Heath has admin privileges in the coffee shop. So I'm gonna hit X. Well, that gave me a link. I'm playing other Heath right now, and it did let me have a link. It did give me that same. Oh, let me take it down. So I was looking to see if a non-admin person gets this link up here. And the answer appears to be yes. So if the game master gives you the code, then you would need to hit that link button up there and then enter your code. Okay, well, let me experiment. If I leave, it's the same. It's not the same case with the playingcards.io. So if I go over to a playing cards, it does appear to give me the link. Okay, well, I don't think we have a problem then. It looks like it might work then. Okay, I'm going to leave it there potentially as a test thing. I'm going to leave it there as a potential test. We'll keep the VCTTT, whatever this, the ICVTT in beta at the moment. We don't have anything built out for it, but other people can also build things out for it. People can build out stuff in playingcards.io as well. I still think there are some advantages of the playing cards system for like sitting down doing like a one shot or something, because how we could lay out the characters. But we will see. I made a list of, where's my list of different potential games. I was looking last night, and they take a while to build out, but so we'll just have to add them in eventually, one by one over weeks or months. Well, I don't even know where my list went anymore, but I had a list of potential games that would be fun to build out. I was like, what kind of games do I have sitting around here that I would really like to play but never get to? So, all right, we're at the moment, I think, tentatively positive on that, which is really good. I know a lot of people like the index card RPG, and that is a pretty neat virtual tabletop. I like the philosophy of it, so I hope that works. Okay, well, we've been going a little while, but that was important. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was fantastic. I want to be able to build stuff out with it. So it may be the one that we have to run things like Fate in. Yeah, so it sounds like ICRPG needs to be one that we need to get operational as our second RPG. So that might have to be the next one that we actually work with. Huh. All right, so that's where I am. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, BGD, especially for helping guide us through the virtual tabletop and working with it. So I think a lot of people would like it. And don't forget, ICVTT.net is how you get to that if you want to play around with it. All right, everybody, please do like the stream. Subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, you should be. Exactly. That's exactly what Sable just said. So everybody have a wonderful day. Go be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later.